July 1st, 2025, Chile. The Atlas telescope network picks up something that shouldn't exist. An object moving at 221,000 kilometers per hour through deep space on a trajectory that breaks every rule. Not from our solar system, not from anywhere close. Speed twice what we've seen before. Direction impossible. Within hours, amateur astronomers across 6 continents confirm the same readings. Something from interstellar space just entered our neighborhood, and the internet is about to lose its mind. The name spreads across social media faster than the object moves through space. Within 72 hours, claims explode. A massive comet heading straight for Earth, an alien probe conducting reconnaissance missions, secret military operations mobilizing to deflect an extinction-level threat. Meteor storms that will rain debris on every continent. One viral post racks up 290,000 views claiming physicist Michio Kaku warned it might carry hostile intent. Another declares it's 7 miles wide, the largest interstellar visitor ever recorded, approaching Earth closer than expected. Forums debate whether world governments are hiding the truth. TikTok videos show supposed military movements. X posts detail international coordination to counter the impact. Reddit threads calculate days until collision. If you value documented space science and astronomy history like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also comment from which city you're hearing this from. This script is researched and factual, using sources from NASA's official 3i Atlas mission pages published July 3rd, 2025, Al Jazeera's Sanadeh fact-checking investigation published October 3rd, 2025, that traced false attributions and debunked viral claims, the International Astronomical Union's Minor Planet Center observations, collected from 122 observatories across 31 countries between June 5th and September 23rd, 2025, peer-reviewed astronomical data from Hubble Space Telescope imaging sessions on July 21st and August 20th, 2025, James Webb Space Telescope spectroscopic analysis, published August 6th, 2025, showing carbon dioxide and water vapor signatures, Very Large Telescope observations from July 20th and August 14th, 2025. Detecting cyanide gas and atomic nickel vapor, European Space Agency official frequently asked questions. Documents detailing Mars Express and ExoMars Trace gas orbiter observation plans. Wikipedia's 3i Atlas entry with continuous updates through October 16th, 2025. Incorporating data from 227 global observatories, CT Institute scientist A.K.M. Ayasunul Hake's peer-reviewed paper published on the preprint server Earth Arslav in October 2025, systematically addressing artificial origin claims and direct statements from Tommy. Statler, NASA's lead scientist for solar system small bodies, published in The Guardian and multiple scientific journals between September and October 2025. Now back to the information. July 1st, 2025. The Atlas Survey Telescope captures an object designated A11PL3Z moving through Serpens Cauda near the galactic plane. Apparent magnitude 18. Speed 61 kilometers per second relative to the Sun. Distance 3.5 astronomical units from Earth. 4.51 AU from the Sun. Within hours, follow-up observations hit the Minor Planet Center, Zwicky Transient Facility in California, Lowell Discovery Telescope in Arizona, Canada, France-Hawaii Telescope on Mauna Kea. Deep Random Survey in Chile. 31 different observatories contribute 122 observations in the first 24 hours. Every single reading confirms the same impossible fact. Hyperbolic trajectory, not orbiting, passing through. Nordic Optical Telescope on La Palma. David Jewett and Jane Liu confirm cometary activity. Diffuse appearance, coma visible, 3 arcseconds of tail elongation, Instituto de Astrofísica de Canarias at Teide Observatory, using the 2-meter twin telescope. Miguel R. Alarcon's team sees the same features. Reddish coma, dust signature matching interstellar comet, Tycho Borisov from 2019. The Minor Planet Center assigns official designation 3i Atlas, third interstellar object confirmed. C 2025N1 in the non-periodic comet catalog. The I means interstellar, the 3 means third of its kind. Atlas refers to the survey that spotted it first. September 29th, 2025, the New York Post runs a headline claiming the comet is massive, larger than previously thought, could be alien tech, according to a scientist. The article spreads. An account called Lord Bebo posts a screenshot claiming Michio Kaku said the object is conducting reconnaissance, possibly with hostile intent. The image shows Kaku in a television interview. 290,000 views, dozens of comments speculating about invasion. Problem is, Al Jazeera's fact-checking agency Sanad traces that image back to February 20th, 2025. months before 3I Atlas was even discovered. The interview discussed a completely different topic. The quotes attributed to Kaku about 3I Atlas? Fabricated. Zero evidence they ever existed. Here's what Hubble actually shows. July 21st, 2025, Hubble Space Telescope captures 3I Atlas at 277 million miles from Earth. The image reveals a teardrop-shaped dust cocoon, not a solid 7-mile rock. August 20th. Observations refine the estimate. Nucleus diameter between 440 meters and 5.6 kilometers. Most likely under 1 kilometer across. Not 7 miles, not even close. The early brightness that suggested massive size. Dust coma, not nucleus. Standard comet behavior. Karen Meach from the University of Hawaii Institute for Astronomy confirms the coma grew as expected when solar heating increased. Dust and rock particles escape. This debris doesn't scatter randomly. Orbital mechanics keep it close to the comet's path. The particles drift mostly forward or behind the comet because some travel wider orbits than others. Over decades, over centuries, this creates a debris stream stretched along the entire orbital path. If Earth's orbit intersects that debris stream at a predictable point, we get an annual meteor shower. The Perseids every August from Comet Swift-Tuttle. The Leonids every November from Comet Tempel-Tuttle. Same time each year because Earth crosses the same intersection point in its orbit. Biela's comet, discovered 1772, broke apart in 1846. Edmund Weiss calculated Earth would intersect the orbit in 1872. The Andromedan meteor shower confirmed his prediction. Donald K. Yeomans at Jet Propulsion Laboratory reviewed the complete history in 1981, publishing in Sky and Telescope. The pattern holds across every confirmed meteor shower. Debris follows the parent comet's orbital path. Earth crosses that path annually at a fixed point. 3. I-Atlas doesn't have an orbital path that stays in the solar system. Hyperbolic trajectory means the eccentricity exceeds 1.0, not an ellipse, not a closed orbit. The comet came from somewhere in the Milky Way's thin disk, or thick disk, possibly 7 billion years old, older than our entire solar system. It entered once. It will leave once. The orbital calculation shows escape velocity. After perihelion on October 29th or 30th, 2025 at 1.36 AU from the Sun, 3I Atlas accelerates outward past Jupiter in March 2026 and exits the solar system permanently, never returns. Ever. For 3. I-Atlas, to cause a meteor shower on Earth, 2 conditions must exist. First, its trajectory must intersect Earth's orbital path, leaving debris where Earth will pass through that same point repeatedly over years. Second, Earth must actually cross through accumulated debris at that intersection. Neither condition applies here. Closest approach to Earth occurred July 21st, 2025, at 1.8 astronomical units. That's 270 million kilometers. 168 million miles, nearly twice the distance between Earth and the Sun. At that range, any particles escaping 3 to I-Atlas due to solar heating follow the comet's hyperbolic path outward. They don't drift toward Earth's orbit. They accelerate away with the comet, bound for interstellar space. Quote, "It looks like a comet. It does comet things. It very, very strongly resembles, in just about every way, the comets that we know. It has some interesting properties that are a little bit different from our solar system comets, but it behaves like a comet. The evidence is overwhelmingly pointing to this object being a natural body. It's a comet." End quote. The Guardian published this September, followed by additional confirmations through October. NASA's official 3I Atlas science page states explicitly, Comet 3. I-Atlas poses no threat to Earth and will remain far away. The frequently asked questions document confirms the comet maintains a trajectory more than 2.5 times the distance between Earth and the Sun at closest approach, making any possibility of impact completely impossible. ESA's Mars Express and ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter observed the comet October 3rd, 2025, when 3I Atlas passed 30 million kilometers from Mars. The high-resolution stereo camera on Mars Express, the color and stereo surface imaging system on ExoMars TGO. Both captured images showing normal cometary features, coma, tail, outgassing. No anomalies suggesting artificial origin or Earth-directed trajectory. Multiple blog posts on Medium starting July, almost daily through September. A preprint paper released August 20th, 2025, with co-authors Adam Hibbard and Adam Crowell from the Initiative for Interstellar Studies in London. The paper tested whether 3I Atlas could be extraterrestrial technology using the dark forest hypothesis, suggesting aliens hide from each other because hostile civilizations dominate space. Loeb highlighted several points. First, initial brightness suggested an object 20 kilometers across, which he claimed was vanishingly rare for a comet. Second, the orbital plane lies within 5 degrees of Earth's, which he characterized as an astounding coincidence. Third, the trajectory passes near Venus, Mars, and Jupiter, another unlikely coincidence according to his analysis. Fourth, he claimed insufficient evidence for the expected gas trail from a natural comet. Hubble observations. July 21st and August 20th showed the nucleus between 440 meters and 5.6 kilometers, most likely under 1 kilometer. The early brightness came from the dust coma, not a massive nucleus, standard behavior. The orbital plane argument ignored the fact that many comets from the Oort cloud or interstellar space can approach along various inclinations, and a 5-degree difference doesn't indicate artificial steering. The planetary flyby claim misrepresented probability. A.K.M. Iasanul Hake from the SETI Institute calculated the actual likelihood of close encounters with Venus, Mars, or Jupiter at 0.005%. Natural comets exhibit similar dynamics due to gravitational changes, not targeted navigation. The gas trail argument crumbled fastest. James Webb Space Telescope observed 3 burst atlas, August 6, 2025, using the near-infrared spectrograph. The data showed carbon dioxide, water vapor, carbon monoxide, and carbonyl sulfide being released as the sun heated the nucleus. Classic comet signature. Very large telescope detected cyanide gas on August 14th and atomic nickel vapor on July 20th at concentrations matching solar system comets. NASA's SPHEREX telescope observed from August 7th through 15th, confirming clear carbon dioxide signatures in the coma. Every observation pointed to natural cometary composition. Loeb's team analyzed minor planet center data from 227 observatories between May 15th and September 23rd, 2025. They measured non-gravitational acceleration below 15 meters per day squared, which they called anomalously low given the observed outgassing. Loeb suggested this indicated artificial origin because natural comets typically show higher acceleration from gas jets. But the SETI paper by Hake demonstrated that comparing the spectral slope of 3-1 Atlas with D-type asteroids and interstellar comet 2 Moirarau, and Borisov revealed consistency with natural objects. The low acceleration simply meant the outgassing occurred symmetrically around the nucleus, rather than producing directed jets. Not artificial, natural variation. Loeb's September paper even claimed that if 3I Atlas were a spacecraft, it could perform a reverse solar Oberth maneuver at perihelion to become gravitationally bound to the Sun, then reach Earth by November or December 2025. Quote, the consequences, should the hypothesis turn out to be correct, could potentially be dire for humanity and would possibly require defensive measures to be undertaken, though these might prove futile. End quote. This triggered new waves of panic on social media. Claims of secret military mobilization, international coordination to counter the threat, defensive operations already underway. Al Jazeera. Sanad investigation published October 3rd, 2025, systematically debunked every claim about military movements and international missions to deflect 3I Atlas. No such operations existed. The trajectory calculations showed the comet would pass behind the Sun during closest solar approach, making observation difficult from Earth, but confirming it would continue on its hyperbolic path outward. No mechanism existed for the comet to break and become bound to the solar system. The math didn't work, the physics didn't work, the observations contradicted every aspect of the spacecraft hypothesis. He posted a mock grade online noting Loeb ignored basic principles about bow shocks and chemistry. Benjamin Fernando, a planetary seismologist, had debunked Loeb's previous claim in 2024 that a meteor entering the atmosphere could be alien spaceship wreckage. Fernando's team found the seismic readings Loeb cited came from a truck driving past the sensor. Quote, 1. If you want to do seismic analysis, it's ideal if you check with a seismologist first. The other is it's not aliens. End quote. Loeb made similar claims about 1I Oumuamua in 2017, suggesting it could be an alien solar sail. He tasked radio astronomers to watch for signals from the object. They watched, no signals detected. He claimed a different meteor in 2014 could be alien technology based on trajectory data. Later, analysis disproved the artificial origin entirely. For 3I Atlas, Loeb himself hedged in his own paper, stating, quote, by far the most likely outcome will be that 3I Atlas is a completely natural interstellar object, probably a comet, and we await the astronomical data to support this likely origin. End quote. Yet the dramatic claims continued across blog posts and media interviews, generating headlines that fueled conspiracy theories. Samantha Lawler, an astronomer who reviewed Loeb's work, highlighted that while remaining open-minded about testable predictions is important, Loeb's paper pushed this sentiment to the limit. She noted extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, while, quote, the evidence presented is absolutely minimal, end quote. SETI scientists, researchers dedicated to searching for extraterrestrial intelligence, criticized Loeb's approach as discrediting legitimate scientific inquiry into alien life. When even SETI dismisses the alien hypothesis, that signals how weak the evidence stands. The meteor storm physics makes the impossibility even clearer. For Earth to experience a meteor shower from 3I Atlas debris, the particles would need to spread along a closed elliptical orbit that intersects Earth's path annually. The Leonids demonstrate this perfectly. Comet Tempel-Tuttle has a 33-year orbit, bringing it back through the inner solar system repeatedly. Each pass leaves debris. Over centuries, that debris spreads along the entire orbital path. Earth crosses this path every November. In years when Tempel-Tuttle recently passed, the debris concentration is higher, producing meteor storms. November 1966 saw meteors falling at 41 per second when Earth encountered a fresh debris pocket shortly after the comet's perihelion passage. 3. I-Atlas can't replicate this because it has no periodic return. After October 30th, 2025 perihelion at 210 million kilometers from the Sun just inside Mars' orbit, the comet accelerates away. By March 2026, it passes Jupiter. Then it exits the solar system on a hyperbolic trajectory with eccentricity around 6.1. That's escape velocity. The comet will travel outward for millions of years, never turning around, never coming back. Any debris it sheds during this single pass through the inner solar system follows similar hyperbolic trajectories outward. The particles don't spread around a closed orbit because no closed orbit exists. They disperse into interstellar space along with the parent comet. Earth's orbit is roughly circular at 1 AU from the Sun. 3. I-Atlas crossed 1.8 AU from Earth at closest approach, never penetrating Earth's orbital distance. The debris field at that range can't intersect our planet's path because the geometry doesn't allow it. For meteor shower debris to hit Earth's atmosphere, the debris must occupy the same three-dimensional space where Earth will be at some point in its annual orbit. 3. I-Atlas debris occupies space far outside Earth's orbit on a one-time trajectory that won't repeat. The closest debris could theoretically come would be if particles ejected during the comet's closest solar approach drifted inward. But solar radiation pressure and the particles' own velocities push them outward along escape trajectories, not inward toward Earth. Meteor shower particles typically move at 25,000 to 160,000 miles per hour relative to Earth. 3. I-Atlas moves at 221,000 kilometers per hour, or 137,000 miles per hour relative to the Sun at discovery. As it approaches perihelion, the speed increases significantly due to gravitational acceleration. Particles ejected from the nucleus inherit this high velocity, plus additional velocity from the outgassing process. The resulting trajectories carry debris away from the inner solar system at hyperbolic velocities, not into closed orbits where Earth might encounter them annually. James Webb observations calculated 3I Atlas, releasing approximately 150 kilograms of material per second as of August 6, 2025. Over the months of observable cometary activity from July through October, this produces a total debris mass on the order of millions of kilograms. Sounds significant until you consider the volume of space involved. The debris spreads across billions of cubic kilometers along the hyperbolic trajectory. Even if some particles somehow drifted toward Earth's orbital distance, which physics doesn't support, the density would be far too low to produce visible meteors. You'd need concentrated debris streams like those from periodic comets that make hundreds or thousands of passes, accumulating debris over millennia. Observers reported meteors falling like snowflakes, estimates ranging from 50,000 to 240,000 meteors per hour at peak. This led astronomers to realize meteor showers correlate with periodic comets. Without the periodic return, without the accumulated debris from multiple passages, you can't generate those numbers. 1I Oumuamua passed through the solar system in 2017 on a hyperbolic trajectory similar to 3I Atlas. No meteor showers resulted. 2. Borisov passed through in 2019, also on a hyperbolic path. No meteor showers, the pattern holds. The claims spread because they sound dramatic, not because they reflect physical reality. A 7-mile-wide alien spacecraft approaching Earth makes a better headline than a small natural comet passing at safe distance. Secret military operations deflecting an extinction threat generates more engagement than routine astronomical observations, confirming normal cometary behavior. Meteor storms raining alien debris across continents drives more clicks than explaining why hyperbolic trajectories can't produce meteor showers. The incentive structure favors sensationalism over accuracy. 3. I-Atlas represents the third confirmed interstellar object humanity has ever observed entering our solar system. The first, One-Eye Oumuamua, 2017, displayed elongated shape and unusual reflectivity that sparked scientific debate about its composition and origin. The second, Tuastu, Borisov, in 2019, showed clear cometary features with a composition slightly different from solar system comets. 3. I-Atlas adds another data point to this emerging picture of interstellar visitors. Analysis suggests 3. I-Atlas may originate from the Milky Way's thick disk, which would make it at least 7 billion years old, predating our solar system's formation by over 2 billion years. It could be a time capsule from an earlier epoch of galactic history when star formation rates and chemical compositions differed from today's conditions. The unusually high carbon dioxide concentration detected by James Webb Space Telescope supports this ancient origin hypothesis. The reddish coma color, similar to Tigui-Uta's Borisov, but distinct from most solar system comets, indicates formation in a different stellar environment with different elemental abundances. The Planetary Society notes that an average star system throws off roughly 10 quadrillion objects into interstellar space over its lifetime. Most get ejected during planet formation when orbits are still settling. Some escape due to gravitational perturbations from passing stars. This creates streams of debris traveling through the galaxy at various velocities and trajectories. Estimates suggest around 60 interstellar objects pass within Jupiter's orbit at any given time, plus an additional 8 or so that become gravitationally captured and stay permanently. We've only spotted 3 confirmed interstellar visitors because detection technology limits what we can find, not because the objects are rare. The Vera C. Rubin Observatory, which serendipitously imaged 3 I-Atlas during science validation observations from June 21st through July 3rd, 2025, will dramatically increase detection rates when it begins full operations. Astronomers predict we could discover hundreds of interstellar objects over the next decade, allowing statistical analysis of their properties, origins, and trajectories. Each detection provides data about planetary system formation, stellar evolution, and galactic chemical composition variations across space and time. 3. I-Atlas offers a rare chance to study material from potentially 7 billion years ago, preserved in deep freeze during its interstellar journey, now observable as solar heat activates its icy surface. October 3rd, 2025. When 3 I-Atlas passed 30 million kilometers from Mars, ESA's ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter used its CASIS camera designed for photographing the Martian surface. The images showed 3 I-Atlas fixed against streaming background stars, demonstrating the comet's trajectory relative to the orbital motion of the spacecraft and Mars. No anomalous movements, no course corrections, no propulsion signatures, just predictable gravitational motion, matching all calculated expectations for a natural body on a hyperbolic solar system passage. Jupiter Icy Moons explorer called JUICE will attempt observations in November 2025 using multiple instruments including cameras, spectrometers, and particle sensors. Coordination with NASA's Europa Clipper mission may enable twin ultraviolet spectrograph observations from 2 different vantage points. Since JUICE currently orbits close to the Sun, using its high-gain antenna as a heat shield and sits on the opposite side of the Sun from Earth, the observational data won't reach Earth until February 2026. This extended timeline provides opportunities for careful analysis of 3 Huitna, I-Atlas's evolution as it moves outward past Jupiter and begins its exit from the solar system. Confirmation bias drives people to accept dramatic claims without verification. A screenshot showing physicist Michio Kaku gets shared 290,000 times, despite being months old and discussing a completely different topic. False quotes attributed to him spread because people want to believe experts validate their fears. Military coordination rumors proliferate because conspiracy thinking assumes governments hide existential threats from the public. Alien spacecraft theories gain traction because extraterrestrial intelligence makes a more compelling narrative than natural interstellar ice balls. Quote, massive comet hurtling toward us is larger than previously thought could be alien, tech scientist says. End quote. The scientist referenced was Avi Loeb. The article failed to mention that Loeb's claims contradicted NASA, ESA, and the overwhelming consensus of the astronomical community. It didn't explain that Loeb's size estimates were already disproven by Hubble observations. It ignored that Loeb himself admitted the alien hypothesis was unlikely, calling it merely an interesting exercise. The sensational headline drove traffic. The underlying facts got buried. TikTok amplified this pattern. Short videos claiming impending doom, extinction-level impacts, or alien reconnaissance went viral because the algorithm rewards engagement, not accuracy. Users scrolled past detailed astronomical explanations in favor of dramatic countdowns, CGI renderings of Earth impacts that never occurred, and speculation about government cover-ups. The comment sections became echo chambers where fear reinforced fear. Anyone pointing to NASA statements or orbital mechanics got drowned out by accusations of being a shill or being naive about official lies. Upvotes favored dramatic claims over technical corrections. Users, citing published papers and observational data, received less engagement than users posting apocalyptic scenarios. The voting system created visibility for content that matched pre-existing beliefs rather than content that accurately represented the science. Moderators in astronomy subreddits worked to combat false claims, but misinformation spread faster than corrections, could be posted and upvoted. The Perseids meteor shower from comet Swift-Tuttle provides perfect contrast. Swift-Tuttle has an orbital period of 133 years, last passing perihelion in 1992. The debris trail from this and previous passages stretches along the entire orbit. Earth crosses this debris stream every August 11th through 13th, producing a reliable annual meteor shower with rates around 60 to 100 meteors per hour under dark skies. The debris particles range from dust grain size to pebbles, most completely vaporizing in the atmosphere. Occasionally, larger fragments survive to reach the ground as meteorites. In years near the comet's perihelion passage, fresh debris concentrations produce meteor storms. The 1966 Leonid storm delivered 41 meteors per second. The 1998 and 1999 returns produced enhanced activity when Tempel-Tuttle passed near perihelion, with rates exceeding 10,000 per hour during peak windows. These patterns emerge from centuries of debris accumulation along closed elliptical orbits that Earth intersects predictably. They're the core physical realities that make meteor showers impossible from this object. The debris physics depend absolutely on repeated orbital returns, spreading material along a stable path that Earth crosses annually. Remove the orbital return, you remove the mechanism that creates observable meteor showers. It's not about probability or uncertainty, it's about geometric impossibility given the trajectories involved. When a periodic comet sheds particles, those particles initially cluster near the comet but gradually spread along the orbital path due to slight velocity differences. Forward ejected particles end up in slightly longer orbits, so they fall behind the comet over time. Backward ejected particles adopt slightly shorter orbits and drift ahead. Lateral variations remain small compared to the along orbit dispersion. After many orbital periods, the debris forms a continuous stream around the entire orbit. This takes decades or centuries depending on the comet's period. 3. I-Atlas. Debris doesn't have time for this process. The comet enters the inner solar system for the first time in possibly 7 billion years, makes one perihelion pass, and exits permanently. Any debris shed during this passage follows similar hyperbolic trajectories. Some particles may drift slightly ahead or behind the parent comet due to ejection velocity differences, but all share the fundamental characteristic of escape trajectories. They don't spread around a closed orbit because no closed orbit exists. They disperse into interstellar space in a gradually expanding cloud that moves away from the sun permanently. Solar radiation pressure accelerates small particles outward, giving them additional velocity in the direction away from the sun. For particles on closed elliptical orbits, this creates complex dynamics that gradually spread debris while keeping it bound to the solar system. For particles on hyperbolic escape trajectories, radiation pressure simply adds to the outward velocity, pushing debris away faster. The Yarkovsky effect, where absorbed and re-emitted thermal radiation creates tiny accelerations, similarly enhances outward motion for hyperbolic trajectories, rather than creating bounded dispersion. 3. I-Atlas reaches perihelion at 1.36 astronomical units from the Sun, approximately 203 million kilometers. The comet passes inside Mars' orbit but remains well beyond Earth's distance. Solar heating peaks, driving maximum outgassing rates. The coma expands. The tail extends. Telescopes across the world capture the event, despite the sun's glare making observation difficult. This moment represents the closest 3 I-Atlas will ever come to our star. From this point forward, the comet accelerates outward permanently. Tom Statler's October statements to multiple outlets emphasize the natural interpretation. Quote, "It has some interesting properties that are a little bit different from our solar system comets, but it behaves like a comet. And so, the evidence is overwhelmingly pointing to this object being a natural body. It's a comet." End quote. NASA's official position never wavered despite the viral claims. The 3I Atlas science page maintained consistent messaging. Poses no threat. Will remain far away. Closest approach 1.8 AU. Natural comet confirmed by all observations. The facts stayed stable even as social media narratives spiraled into increasingly dramatic territory. December 2025. 3. Atlas reemerges from behind the Sun, now moving outward past Mars' orbit toward the asteroid belt. The coma begins fading as solar heating decreases with distance. Observations continue tracking the comet's position and brightness, confirming the predicted trajectory matches gravitational calculations without any anomalous accelerations or course changes. January through March 2026, the comet crosses Jupiter's orbital distance, providing final observation opportunities before becoming too faint and distant for most telescopes. JUICE spacecraft observations analyzed in February 2026 will provide the last high-resolution data before 3. Atlas fades from view. The Gemini multi-object spectrograph on Gemini South at Cerro Pachon in Chile produces deep images revealing the tail's growth and the coma's changing particle composition. These observations document how the comet responds to decreasing solar radiation as it moves outward. The spectroscopic data confirms ongoing chemical evolution matching natural cometary processes. No evidence emerges for artificial materials, propulsion systems, or technological components of any kind. Every measurement supports the natural comet interpretation. The meteor storm myth joins a long list of astronomical misconceptions that persist despite clear evidence. The face on Mars turned out to be a trick of shadows on a mesa. The WOW signal from 1977 remains unexplained, but shows no signs of artificial origin. The Tabby star, dimming that sparked alien megastructure speculation, got explained by dust clouds. UFO sightings consistently resolve into misidentified aircraft, satellites, weather balloons, or atmospheric phenomena when investigated rigorously. The pattern holds. Dramatic claims generate attention. Careful investigation reveals mundane explanations. 3. Atlas follows this template perfectly. Earth must intersect this debris stream at a predictable annual point. The concentration must be high enough to produce observable meteor rates. None of these conditions apply to a hyperbolic interstellar visitor making a single pass through the inner solar system at distances that never approach Earth's orbit. The physics doesn't support it, the geometry doesn't allow it, the observations contradict it. The claim persists only because people share dramatic narratives without checking whether they match physical reality. A time capsule from a different era of galactic evolution. An opportunity to study alien materials, not because extraterrestrials built them, but because they formed around a different star in a different part of the Milky Way under different conditions. The chemical signatures detected by James Webb, the particle compositions analyzed by the Very Large Telescope, the physical structures imaged by Hubble, all provide data about stellar and planetary system formation processes across vast distances and deep time. Understanding why people believe the myths matters as much as debunking them. The psychology of threat perception makes dramatic danger claims more memorable and shareable than nuanced scientific explanations. The confirmation bias that drives conspiracy thinking means people accept information matching their pre-existing beliefs without rigorous verification. The algorithm dynamics of social media platforms reward engagement over accuracy, amplifying sensational content, regardless of truth value. The information environment we've created systematically advantages misinformation when it's more emotionally compelling than reality. The viral panic has mostly faded as the predicted impacts and meteor storms failed to materialize. Some believers pivot to claiming the comet's effects will emerge later, moving the goalposts to maintain their narratives. Most simply move on to the next viral claim without acknowledging the previous one was false. The correction never achieves the reach of the original misinformation. The pattern repeats with the next astronomical event, the next unexplained phenomenon, the next opportunity for dramatic speculation to overwhelm careful analysis. NASA's Eyes on the Solar System interactive app allows anyone to track 3 Atlas in real time, watching its trajectory through the inner solar system and out toward interstellar space. The tool plots the comet's position with mathematical precision based on gravitational calculations and observational data. No surprises, no course corrections, no anomalous accelerations toward Earth, just predictable orbital mechanics playing out exactly as physics demands. The app demonstrates visually what the equations prove mathematically. 3. Atlas poses zero threat and cannot produce meteor storms because the trajectory makes both physically impossible. 365 million kilometers away. The teardrop-shaped dust coma glowing against the black. Background stars streaking as Hubble tracked the comet's motion. The nucleus invisible beneath the dust shroud, small and icy, racing through our solar system on its billion-year journey through the galaxy. Not alien technology, not an existential threat, not a meteor storm generator, just a comet. Natural, ancient. Fascinating for what it actually is, rather than what viral claims pretended it might be. Countries across 6 continents, professional astronomers and skilled amateurs, optical telescopes and radio dishes. Every single data point fits the natural comet hypothesis on a one-time hyperbolic passage. 0 observations support artificial origin. 0 measurements indicate Earth-threatening trajectory. 0 evidence suggests meteor storm potential. The consensus emerges not from institutional pressure or government conspiracy, but from the simple fact that all observations agree with gravitational physics, applied to a small, icy body from interstellar space. Avi Loeb's blog post from September admitted the most likely outcome was that 3I Atlas would prove completely natural, probably a comet, and we would await astronomical data to support this likely origin. That data arrived. Every telescope confirmed it. James Webb, Hubble, Very Large Telescope, Gemini Observatory, SphereX, Mars Express, ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter, Nordic Optical Telescope, Lowell Discovery Telescope, Canada-France-Hawaii Telescope, Zwicky Transient Facility, Vera Rubin Observatory. The list extends across the global astronomical community. All observations converged on the same conclusion: natural comet, no alien technology, no threat to Earth, no meteor storms possible. Velocity 61 kilometers per second inbound, increasing through perihelion, maintaining escape velocity throughout. This single parameter determines everything else. Escape trajectories don't create repeating encounters. They don't leave debris in stable orbits that Earth can intersect annually. They don't permit the accumulation patterns that produce observable meteor showers. The comet enters once, passes through once, exits once. The debris follows it outward. The myth collapses not because authorities say so, but because the physics permits no other outcome. The comet fades from view, too distant and dim for most observation. JUICE data, analyzed in February, provides the final scientific observations before the visitor disappears. The accumulated measurements, spectra, images, and trajectory data will fuel research papers for years as astronomers extract every possible insight about this ancient traveler from another star system. But for the public, 3I Atlas becomes memory. Another astronomical event that briefly captured attention before the news cycle moved on. 3. I Atlas demonstrates how easily false narratives spread when they match our fears and fascinations better than reality does. The actual comet, remarkable for being our 3rd confirmed interstellar visitor and possibly 7 billion years old, gets lost beneath layers of sensational fiction. The truth remains accessible to anyone willing to check NASA's official statements, read published papers, or understand basic orbital mechanics. But accessing truth requires effort that scrolling past dramatic TikToks doesn't demand. Rio Hurtado, Chile, July 1st, 2025. First detection. Nordic Optical Telescope, July 2nd. Cometary activity confirmed. Hubble Space Telescope, July 21st. Nucleus size constrained. James Webb Space Telescope, August 6th. Chemical composition analyzed. Very Large Telescope, July 20th and August 14th. Cyanide and nickel detected. Gemini Observatory, August 27th and beyond. Tail growth documented. Mars Express and ExoMars TGO, October 3rd. Mars flyby observed. JUICE, November 2025, with data arriving. February 2026, final observations recorded. Each data point added to humanity's understanding of interstellar objects, while simultaneously disproving every dramatic claim about impacts, invasions, and meteor storms. Tom Statler's final comment cuts through the noise. It looks like a comet. It does comet things. The evidence overwhelmingly points to this object being a natural body. It's a comet. 4 simple sentences summarizing months of observations from hundreds of telescopes. No alien technology. No hidden agenda. No conspiracy. Just astronomy doing what astronomy does, observing, measuring, analyzing, and reaching conclusions based on evidence rather than speculation. The scientific method works when people follow it. 3. I Atlas proves this yet again. December 20th, 2025. 3. I Atlas sits 3 astronomical units from the Sun, moving outward at increasing speed. The comet's coma has largely dissipated as solar heating falls below the threshold for significant ice sublimation. The nucleus, perhaps 800 meters across, maybe smaller, continues its journey alone. In a few years, it will pass beyond the orbit of Neptune. In decades, it will reach the heliopause where the Sun's influence fades into interstellar space. In millennia, it will be light years away, traveling through the void between stars, carrying its cargo of ancient ice and rock and organic compounds back into the galactic disk from which it came billions of years before Earth existed. No debris trail will intersect Earth's orbit. The physics never allowed it. The trajectory made it impossible from the start. Anyone who checked NASA's distance figures, understood hyperbolic orbits, or grasped how meteor showers actually form could have immediately dismissed the claims. But checking takes time. Understanding requires effort. Dismissing dramatic narratives feels unsatisfying compared to believing in existential threats or alien visitors. The psychological appeal of sensational stories outcompetes the intellectual satisfaction of accurate knowledge in the attention economy of social media. Speculation overwhelms data. Corrections fail to achieve viral reach. The pattern repeats because the incentive structures haven't changed. Platforms reward engagement. Engagement comes from drama. Drama requires exaggeration and fear. Truth becomes collateral damage in the competition for attention. Breaking this cycle requires either restructuring the platforms to reward accuracy over engagement or training people to resist emotional manipulation and demand evidence before accepting claims. Neither solution appears imminent. The observatories continue their work regardless. The Minor Planet Center catalogs thousands of objects. The Atlas survey scans for near-Earth asteroids and occasionally interstellar visitors. The Vera Rubin Observatory will begin its decade-long survey, likely detecting dozens or hundreds more objects like 3I Atlas. Each discovery will trigger similar viral cycles, unless something fundamental changes about how information spreads online. The astronomers will keep measuring, analyzing, and publishing. The social media users will keep posting dramatic interpretations. The gap between scientific reality and viral narrative will persist. The published papers sit in archives. The observations are reproducible by anyone with access to appropriate telescopes. The truth doesn't vanish just because false claims spread faster. It waits for those willing to look. 3. Atlas never threatened Earth, never produced meteor storms, never carried alien technology. It was always just a comet, small and ancient, passing through our solar system one time on a journey spanning billions of years and trillions of kilometers. Remarkable enough without fiction. Fascinating for what it actually was, rather than what fear and imagination projected onto it. 3. Atlas came from interstellar space, passed through our solar system at safe distance, and returned to interstellar space without leaving debris in Earth's path. No meteor storms occurred. None were ever possible. The math proved it before the comet even reached perihelion. Anyone could have known this by checking official sources instead of sharing viral posts. Most didn't check. The myth spread anyway. And somewhere in the darkness between stars, a small icy nucleus continues its eternal fall through this galaxy, oblivious to the panic it briefly inspired among the humans of Earth, who mistook it for something it never was and could never be.